Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Alexander with Denison Yachting, and today I have the privilege of taking you through every inch of a very special yacht. She is a Majesty 140 built by Dubai-based super yacht builder Majesty Yachts. This is a brand that most likely our North American market friends won't be too familiar with, but Gulfcraft, the brand's Dubai-based parent shipyard, is quickly changing that. The end game for the Majesty brand is to position themselves as the most respected global super yacht in today's marketplace, and the sweat equity they're putting in is working. In 2019, this yacht, the 140, made her appearance at Flybs, where she won Best in Show in her class. And then at the Cannes Yachting Festival, she won the Best Semi-Displacement Award for the planing motor yachts category. And back in 2018, this 140 was awarded Best Yacht Layout, also at the Cannes show. Over the next maybe 30 minutes, I'm going to be showing you around this boat, showing you different aspects of what makes her special. I want you to really get a feel of what makes this boat so unique. And as we make our way from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, you're going to get a great feel for a yacht that's unmatched in a lot of ways. Her award-winning interior was designed by the renowned Cristiano Gatto, who capitalized on Majesty's desire to create breathtaking spaces throughout the yacht's enormous interior volume. This yacht is hull number 3 and at 37 meters offers the amenities and the space of a 50-meter yacht, and you're going to feel that the second that you step on board. She also has a gracious 27-foot 3-inch beam, so when you walk inside, you really feel the volume of the boat. There are several impressive entertainment areas spread throughout every deck, and there's even a beach club found at the stern. And in her full beam on-deck master, she's got a private balcony that sends the owner's experience over the top. She's even got a Bahamas-friendly low draft of just under 7 feet fully loaded. Today's walkthrough has us starting on the top deck and then working our way down from the sun deck to the guest accommodations on the lower level. That said, our first stop is aft on the sun deck, where we see a guest space out in the open air. With a polished stainless safety rail encircling the entire area, this is a safe space to take in the sun when you're lounging on the open deck space that's also set up to carry a tender on your longer journeys. The davit that deploys the tender is found over on the port side. Just forward of this is a large jacuzzi that's surrounded by a teak sole that covers the entire upper deck and all of the exterior spaces on board. When you get out of the jacuzzi, you have access to a freshwater shower that's integrated into the hardtop where you can rinse off. The massive molded hardtop that covers this area is a key design aspect of this yacht and conveys just how large the upper deck is. Integrated with 2 actuated sunroofs that slide out of the way, the hardtop is an intricate detail that cues you into the complexity of a build like this. Equipped with ship-level satellite domes, as well as a towering radar mast in the middle, the navigation setup found here assures you that you'll always know what's going on around you. Below the aft section of the hardtop is the sun deck's wet bar on the starboard side. 5 deck-mounted teak bar stools are lined up along the edge of a large, split-level bar top. Behind the bar, we find a ton of storage as well as some crucial appliances that make entertaining up here possible, like a Miele glass cooktop, a large sink basin, as well as an ice maker and refrigeration. Directly across from the bar, we see another area that benefits from the sunroof, an oversized U-shaped dinette that surrounds a teak table. This area can accommodate 8 guests with ease. Just forward of the bar is a large air-conditioned changing room when you want to transition from dinner to the jacuzzi without having to leave and head down to the lower level. Just opposite is another air-conditioned stall. This one is the sun deck's dayhead. All of the way forward in centerline, we see the primary lounging space on this level. It has a layout consisting of 3 molded-in bench seats that all face each other on a radius. Wrapping up on the sun deck, aft and to starboard, we have a staircase that leads us down a level to the bridge deck aft. Most yachts will generally have similar layouts because of the common design elements they must naturally share due to a yacht's engineering. But this is one area that breaks the mold of what's typically expected on a yacht in this class. Usually, all of the emphasis is placed around a large alfresco dining table. Here, the table is more reasonably sized to accommodate an alfresco bar that's fully loaded in the aft section. Bar stool seating is along the aft side of the bar that ties into an area with the feel of a high-rise balcony. You can lean on the safety rail and get lost in conversation, or you can sit at the twin settees that flank the space. Whether standing or sitting, the view from up here is unobstructed. Turning our attention back to the bar, the appliances found here include a separate ice maker and plenty of refrigeration for your cold drinks. The glass doors found forward are awesome. There's nothing fancy about them per se, but this is the first of 2 sets that pitch back from the middle up, adding a slight amount of dimension. And these doors electrically open to reveal a 0 threshold entry. Stepping into the Sky Lounge, you'll come to see that this area mirrors a lot of what we find in the lower salon, but lacks the formality in all of the right ways. You'll come to understand what I mean by this when we get to the salon in just a few minutes. In the starboard aft corner, we see a large TV behind a mirror that ties into a killer surround sound system. And the seating is offset to port in what feels like a fishbowl. You've got a ton of light in here and a huge view of your surroundings on all sides. Seating includes a sofa below the window, as well as a love seat and 2 armchairs.
So there are 2 other features that I want to point out here in the Sky Lounge before we make our way forward to the wheelhouse. The first isn't even specific to the Sky Lounge, but it's the Crestron system. And I've never really covered one of these in one of our videos, so it looks a little something like this. After you wake the Crestron system up via this pad right here, you have 3 options. You can watch TV, so this allows you to turn on TV, select your source. You can listen to music in the space, but you also have this 3rd option here, room. And this lets you change all the settings in this specific space. So you can turn off and on your interior and exterior lights. Here you have control over your blinds, and you also have AV settings. So say you wanted to have a movie night preset, you can save that in here. And then you have area select, and this shows you just how far the system reaches. Here in area select, you can see just how intense this system is. You can control the pantry, captain's bathroom. This is every single space on board. And the final space that I want to show you in the Sky Lounge is probably my favorite feature found in this area, and it is this oversized bar here. I have never been on a boat that has this extensive of a bar setup. So for example, if you want to grab a seat at the bar and have a more laid-back night, you can do self-service by setting out some bottles. But then if you want to take it up a notch, on the other side of this pocket door, the crew has a private access to this area.
Stepping behind the bar, you immediately feel the size of this area. Back here, you have a dedicated ice maker that's just a few feet away from a wine cooler. Then a ton of storage leads us back towards a galley space that's equipped with near floor-to-ceiling refrigeration, a stainless sink basin, and a Miele cooktop for whipping up warm food for your guests. Directly across from the crew access behind the bar is a dayhead to port. Moving all the way forward on the main deck, we arrive at the wheelhouse, which we enter on the starboard side. The centerpiece of this space, design-wise, is a patinaed map of the globe that wraps from the overhead to the aft bulkhead, where it ties in with a comfortable seating area. Instead of a doghouse hidden in some dark crawl space, the 140 has this accessible closet where all of the yacht system networking can be found in one place. A single helm seat faces a mind-blowing amount of technology that allows the captain to run this yacht in every capacity, offering full control of the top-tier navigation equipment used to operate this vessel. Next, let's take a look at the helm itself, where we see a navigation system laid out around 3 primary multifunction displays centerline. Over on the port side is a Gulfcraft ship systems computer, with the controls for the anchoring system found below. These are right next to a VHF radio, speed log, and Furuno radar controls. Looking directly below the multifunction displays is the ABT track stabilizer control, the boat's autopilot, a bow thruster joystick, and engine controls. And then to starboard is her camera control system, ship's intercom, emergency satellite phone, and secondary VHF radio. On the port side, just aft of the wheelhouse, is a spacious captain's quarter. This area feels like a scaled down version of a guest stateroom. This captain space is equipped with plenty of windows and storage, as well as a private ensuite. Stepping out of the wheelhouse and moving onto the foredeck, we next arrive at the first of 2 wing stations positioned for getting this boat on and off the dock, and the way that these stations jut out and away from the boat gives you visibility all of the way down the side of the vessel. Next, as we move forward past the slightly raked pilot house windshield, we arrive at one of my favorite spots on this entire yacht. A sizable lounging area features seating that all faces in towards the other sections with gorgeous teak on full display. When the yacht is loaded up with guests for a party, this is where your shy friends will all try to escape to. It's the perfect blend of privacy and open air. All of the way forward on this split-level foredeck is where a pair of jet skis and a telescoping davit are located. This centerline crane makes it easy to drop the watercraft off on either side of the bow. Just inside of these are the hydraulic Maxwell windlasses that draw this yacht's pocket anchors. A design feature that really adds to the elegance of this yacht is how the anchor chutes almost disappear into the design. This helps accentuate the chines and the overall profile of this yacht as it cuts through the water. The front profile of the Majesty 140 is one of the best angles of this super yacht. This boat isn't a head turner just because of her size, but also because of the creative use of geometry. As you look over the profile, note how none of the shapes, be it the windows or the reaching lines of the superstructure, repeat, but how they all seem to still settle together. Now we're going to jump to the opposite end of the yacht, where we arrive at her Euro transom with stairs that lead down to port and starboard. The teak treads continue down onto the swim platform itself that's a highly functional aspect of this yacht. First, in the middle of the swim platform is an Opak Mare Z-lift that transforms the area entirely. This serves as a diving platform, a boarding point for the vessel, or as stairs that drop down into the water. Next, we turn our attention to the massive transom door that raises up to reveal the lounging area of a modern beach club. This area is outfitted with durable teak seating on the port and starboard side that can be pulled out under the sun. A great feature of the hefty beach club entry door is the shower that serves in a very similar way to the overhead shower we saw up on the sun deck. The beach club has integrated lighting overhead and in the door, as well as a watertight seal to safely close the space off when the door is closed. Once inside, you'll also see 3 entries into the mechanical spaces of the yacht. 2 of them flank the beach club and give you access to things like your shore power cable storage, and the 3rd door, centerline, is your watertight engine room access. Here, in this spacious and immaculate engine room, are the yacht's twin MTU 16V 2000 M96 engines. Powering the house is a Kohler genset, each of which is 99 kilowatts. These are located just aft of the engines. Assuring that this yacht has clean diesel, there's an Alfa Laval fuel polishing system just outboard of the starboard side engine. Looking now to the port aft bulkhead, we see the main switchboard for the yacht's electrical systems, which is part of the intuitively laid out systems that were obviously designed with accessibility in mind. Just forward of the port engine are the control panels for her twin MTU engines, offering you full control and diagnostic readouts of vital performance data. On the opposite side of the forward bulkhead is a Gulfcraft ship's monitoring computer with the twin generator control pads just below. Immediately forward of the engine room is the tender garage. This is a huge storage space that will be utilized all the time. In here, we find a brand new 14-foot Williams Sportjet tender. This tender moves with a top speed of over 40 knots and offers a solid platform for transport or towing a water skier. With the use of an overhead crane system, the tender is pushed out the port side of the hull with ease. Two other key features found down here include a full laundry center with 2 washing machines and 2 dryers, as well as a workstation for folding laundry or taking on mechanical space tasks. On today's run from Fort Lauderdale down to Miami, it was incredible to experience this super yacht in action. Seeing her from a bird's eye view, you become aware of the magnitude of the boat. Feeling the stabilizers engage whenever needed, and feeling the engines work effortlessly to get her up on plane is one of my favorite things about being on a yacht this size. Wrapping up in the mechanical spaces, our next stop is going to be the aft deck. On a boat where everything feels big and spacious, something you might take for granted is how stout everything needs to be. From the deck area back here to the safety rails and quality of the furniture, the substantial weight of this yacht's core components give you the assurance of safety. One such overbuilt feature are the fold-down balconies on both sides of the space that open the area up and give you an incredible perspective from which to stand out in the open air or put out a chair and read. Custom safety rails are easily put into place, and then what you do with this feature is entirely up to you. Even the hydraulic balconies have the same unweathered teak that we find on all levels and exterior deck spaces. The unfinished aesthetic of the teak even continues up onto the 2 tabletops that service the centerline dinette with a ton of U-shaped seating. Seated here, you're under the cover of a sprawling hardtop with this awesome LED lighting overhead. Also integrated into the hardtop is a booming sound system and CCTV cameras. A subtle feature I love is that even the support beams back here have lighting in them on all 4 sides, adding to the yacht's modern appeal. And then right next to these are twin aft helm stations from which you can run the yacht. In addition to the other 3 helm positions that we've already covered forward, these are handy when docking in any way. Looking forward into port, we see the stairs that wrap up to the bridge deck aft, which are right next to the lighting controls for the aft deck. Also in this area is one of 2 clever storage spaces for your guests' footwear. Looking opposite, there's a crew access door that leads down to the engine room and mechanical spaces. And then turning our attention all the way forward, we see the same unique glass doors that we passed through on the bridge deck aft. These offer us entry into the 140's Salon. With a volume of just under 600 square feet, the Salon stands out for a handful of reasons. The first is the wide open sightline. There are no columns or oversized built-ins that obstruct the view in any way outside of the framing of the massive windows. The second thing that stands out is how this space feels like a more elegant version of the Sky Lounge, with a plush seating area aft on the port side that rests opposite a TV in the aft starboard corner of the space. Somehow, the 2 large sofas, as big as they are, don't crowd the space, despite being joined by a large coffee table and oversized barrel chairs aft. The third thing that I love about this space is the texture. Sunlight brings the Salon to life, especially the subtle design elements that a modern super yacht like this exhibits. An array of leather seating with intricate stitching, gorgeous woodwork, and a comfortable area rug with a low pile make the guest experience memorable. The windows flanking the space lead us forward, where we arrive at the yacht's formal dining area with seating that lines all sides of a table that can accommodate 10 comfortably. Heading forward on the port side brings us into the galley of the yacht, where we first pass through a stew's pantry loaded with storage that helps keep the dining space organized. There's also an ice maker that makes this area well suited for pouring cocktails. Taking a few more steps, we enter the galley proper that has one of the best layouts that I've come across. It's uncluttered and there's plenty of space between the different zones your chef will be using to prep and cook your meals. On the forward bulkhead are your main cooking appliances with a Miele cooktop, oven, and a microwave. Outboard into port is the cleaning area of the galley with a twin sink basin and a dishwasher. Immediately aft of this is a stop and go spot with a built-in coffee maker just above a wine cooler. The final set of appliances is all of the refrigeration located on the aft bulkhead. And then just a step or two from the cold storage is a breakfast nook. Forward of the dinette is a door that opens to reveal a staircase that leads down into the crew accommodations. This starboard cabin exhibits the ample storage found in here, as well as a desk that drops down when you need a place to work. Each of these cabins is equipped with a private ensuite head with a shower.
So on those nights that you're having your formal meals, you can imagine your crew walking out, they've got their hands full. One of the things that makes their job easier is this fob found right here. It's motion-based, and usually these are somewhere around foot level. They're incredibly hard to locate, so even though these are more visible, these are a lot easier to use. So not only does the door have a motion sensor, but so do all of the lights throughout the boat. What's really cool about this is that on a boat this impeccable, there's a lot of detail to take in. In the foyer, I want to point out one detail that I love, and that is the flooring. As someone who is obsessed about having hardwood floors in my house since the time I've been a kid, today is the first day that I see hardwood floors may be overrated. These engineered floors feel like hardwood, have the same texture, but with its vinyl finish, they're far more durable.
The centerpiece of the foyer is the winding staircase that leads down to the midship guest accommodations and also leads up to the wheelhouse. We'll revisit this in just a minute. Outboard, we see a side deck access door that serves as one of the primary entrances into the guest area that helps cut down on traffic moving through the salon. And then forward in the companionway is the main deck dayhead located to starboard. The final feature worth pointing out in here is a hidden crew access door that leads to the landing above the crew staircase just outside of the galley. Hardwood flooring turns to soft white carpet as you step inside of the master, where immediately to starboard is a vanity area with an incredible viewing window. This is opposite a walk-in closet that offers ample storage without taking up a large part of the footprint. Next, we step into the most calming space on board, the living area of the master stateroom. Everything you see adds to the list of reasons that you would want to have an on-deck master. It's easily accessed from anywhere on the boat and offers you enough beam to really get creative with. Everything is in its place around a forward-facing king berth with a floating bed frame and nightstands to match. Even the technology in here is minimal and intuitive, with everything from USB plugs to a simple control panel that offers you control over all of the lights and blinds in the master. There are 2 degrees of shade offered by the blinds, with the ability to black out the master when you want to sleep in. Directly below the starboard side windows is a love seat that's a perfect spot for reading, and this sits right next to another hanging locker. Then we see a TV at the foot of the berth with the same mirror covering it that we saw in the salon and that we'll see throughout all of the interior TVs. The obvious highlight of this space is a large port-side balcony on the other side of floor-to-ceiling glass doors. The double sliding glass doors give you the view, and with the doors opened up and the balcony in the down position, you get the full experience. This is where you can start every morning with a coffee in hand and would be a perfect place to bring in the new year, fireworks in the background. Rounding out the on-deck master is an incredible ensuite found forward. The feature that jumps out immediately is the centerline tub with backlit stone, warming the whole area up once the lights come on. To the port side of the tub is a large glass shower stall with seating and a view to boot. A subtle feature of this area are the LED mood lights built into the rainfall shower head that you have full control of, from color to brightness. Opposite the tub are his and hers vanities, with black stone countertops and sinks that offer a heavy contrast to the stone found underfoot. Finally, to starboard is a frosted glass stall enclosure offering privacy for the head and bidet. Leaving the master and heading to the lower level, we're going to end today's walkthrough in the remaining guest accommodations, starting forward in the first of two cabins with twin berths that are side by side. As we saw in the master, above the nightstand that's in between the berths are standard wall plugs along with USB plugs for each bed. Additionally, there's an HDMI connection in case you want to hook up your own device, as well as a Crestron control panel for the lighting and the blinds. There's even a second USB plug for each berth in the event that your guests have more than one device, which most likely they will. Above the inboard berth, we see this creative storage option, as well as a large hanging locker at the foot of each bed. Usually, two guests are expected to share just one of these. Aft in here is a fully loaded ensuite. Jumping from port to starboard, we next enter a stateroom that mirrors the last cabin. In this suite, I'd like to point out the window size. These windows are relatively large for a yacht in this class. On the forward bulkhead is a sound deadening surface that really quiets the space down and adds to the serene environment created down here. In addition to a mirrored TV, the sound system is discreet and built into the overhead, along with dimmable LED lighting. As you may expect, there's a sheer blind as well as a blackout shade, depending on what kind of morning you want to have. And then forward is the ensuite, which you can see is equipped with a gray marble vanity and a large shower stall. A nice touch in the shower is this polished porthole cover just above a bench seat. Moving across the lower guest landing, we move into the starboard aft VIP with a forward-facing queen berth that's loaded with everything we saw in the last cabin and offers even more. These aft suites are substantially larger than the forward twin cabins and have twice the light pouring in through large hull-side windows. On the forward bulkhead is a desk that sits below a TV that makes for a great spot to sit down and reflect on your time on board with your family and friends. Looking to the inner bulkhead, we see a French door wardrobe built in next to a double-wide floor-to-ceiling mirror. Aft in this stateroom is the entrance into the ensuite, which is another feature that dwarfs the smaller cabin's amenities. Leaving here and making our way to the port side, we're going to wrap up today's walkthrough in the port VIP stateroom. It doesn't matter which guest space you find yourself in, everything on board the Majesty 140 ties in together, from the way all of the lighting stretches throughout the overheads to the way the windows are used as one of the primary design elements. There are even subtle elements found throughout all of the furniture, like this desk that was designed without a leg to make it easier to get in front of. The features that make this yacht stand out are seen in every aspect of the design, From the Majesty 140's lofty inception to the shipyard's luxurious execution, it's clear that this builder is well on their way to prominence.
So there you have it, the Majesty 140, hell of a boat. If you have any questions about this boat, you can reach out to us or you can leave a comment down below. We'll do our best to respond. And if you like this boat enough to see her in person, you can reach out to us at Denison Yachting anytime.